Becoming Bulletproof. This video is based on key insights from the book Becoming Bulletproof by Evy Poumpouras. Introduction. Evy Poumpouras, a former U.S. Secret Service agent and polygraph examiner, emphasizes the importance of mental attitude in overcoming fear and becoming a stronger, more confident person. She believes that survival skills are primarily about mastering oneself and controlling fear responses, rather than relying on physical strength alone. Poumpouras explains that fear is relative and depends on the situation at hand. In a life-threatening scenario, most individuals lose control due to fear and panic, which can rapidly worsen the situation. She asserts that the key to conquering fear lies in mental fortitude, the choice to face and manage it instead of letting it control you. In the post-9/11 world, Poumpouras highlights how our fears have evolved. No longer just concerned about crime, we now worry about terrorist attacks, mass shootings, and cyber threats. She stresses that hiding from these fears isn't a solution. Instead, preparation is the best strategy. This involves taking responsibility for one's safety, gaining knowledge, and acquiring tools to handle any potential crisis. The author asserts that fearlessness is not the goal. Fear serves a purpose, keeping us alert and safe from harm. Instead, she aims to teach readers how to manage their fear effectively. This involves understanding one's personal fears and strategizing ways to control them, turning potential weaknesses into strengths. Poumpouras' book is divided into 3 sections, each focusing on a different aspect of personal development. The first part, Protection, covers self-defense strategies and home safety measures. Having worked in the Presidential Protective Division, Poumpouras shares insights from her experiences, offering practical advice for everyday protection. She discusses topics ranging from choosing safe seats at a movie theater to having serious conversations with children about violence and lockdown drills. The second section delves into reading people. As a polygraph examiner and interrogator, Poumpouras provides tips on deciphering verbal and nonverbal cues to identify honesty or deceit. She teaches readers how to listen attentively and discern subtle signs often missed in casual conversations. The final section, Influence, explores strategies to sway others' opinions and actions. Poumpouras illustrates the power of one's voice, appearance, and word choices in everyday interactions. She also warns about being influenced by others subtly, showing how to recognize when someone is trying to manipulate you. Throughout her book, Poumpouras shares personal anecdotes from her time protecting high-level targets. These stories illustrate the virtues of true leaders' qualities, like genuine appreciation for people and poise in deceitful situations. By understanding these traits, readers can aspire to become influential figures themselves. Poumpouras uses the metaphor of a bulletproof vest to explain her approach. Just as a vest isn't a single piece of material, but multiple layers working together for protection, personal strength comes from layering various skills and knowledge. Each layer, whether it's self-defense tactics, communication strategies, or understanding influential behaviors, contributes to an overall defense system. By combining all the lessons from her book, readers will effectively construct their own armor, a collection of resilience-building techniques. This armor won't make them invulnerable, but significantly harder to overcome. Poumpouras underscores that acknowledging remaining weaknesses is crucial for better preparation and defense against threats. Ultimately, her goal isn't just to provide survival tips, but also to help readers recognize their inner strengths and aptitudes, turning them into additional layers of protection. She wants to empower individuals to become their own protectors, not only for themselves, but also for their loved ones. Chapter 1, How We Fear. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent and security expert, shares her insights on transforming oneself into a stronger, more confident, and powerful person by understanding and managing fear. According to Evy, the key lies in recognizing our innate fight, flight, or freeze F3 responses, which are our body's natural reactions to perceived threats. Evy explains that everyone has 2 primary innate fears: a fear of falling and a fear of loud sounds. These originate from birth, with infants displaying a startle response to falling and reacting to sudden, loud noises. All other fears are learned from experiences, parents, culture, media, or personal encounters. The F3 responses vary among individuals. Evy recalls an incident from her teenage years when she and her mother encountered a home intruder. Her mom froze with fear while Evy chased after the burglar. This demonstrates that some people naturally respond to danger with fight, others by running away, and still, others become immobilized. Evy's F3 response tends towards fight, meaning she instinctively confronts threats. She encourages readers to understand their own F3 patterns, whether they're prone to fight, flee, or freeze in threatening situations. This awareness helps individuals anticipate and manage their reactions better before volatile situations arise. To become stronger and more confident, Evy suggests identifying one's natural F3 response. 1. Reflect on past experiences where you felt scared or threatened. What did you do? Was your reaction consistent across different situations, or did it vary based on the type of threat? This reflection helps understand your innate fear response patterns. 2. Once you identify your typical F3 response, fight, flight, or freeze, consider whether this instinctive reaction is always the best choice in every situation. For example, if you tend to flee, think about times when staying put might be wiser for safety or strategic reasons. 3. By understanding your usual F3 response, you can create alternative strategies and choices for managing threats, moving beyond mere instinctual reactions. This self-awareness equips you to deal with challenging situations more effectively and positively impact your life. Evy emphasizes that mastering fear is crucial because it allows us to live fuller lives without unnecessary limitations imposed by anxiety or panic. By transforming how we handle fear, we can navigate the world with greater strength, confidence, and resilience. Chapter 2: Harnessing Fear. Evy Poumpouras, growing up in New York City during the 1980s and 90s, faced significant challenges that shaped her into a stronger person. She was surrounded by fear due to the high crime rates, with her family experiencing multiple victimizations. This environment influenced her perception of herself and what she wanted to become. Evy learned about the theory of possible selves from psychologists Hazel Marcus and Polyneurius. This theory explains how individuals use past experiences to shape their future identities, divided into two categories: hoped-for selves, desired future selves, and feared selves, fears about becoming someone undesirable. Evy aspired to be brave and powerful, like the heroes from Greek mythology she admired. However, her early life contrasted with these ideals, making her cautious and fearful. Despite this, Evy decided not to let fear dictate her future. She joined the New York City Police Department, NYPD, Academy at 23, a move her traditional Greek parents strongly opposed. Training at the NYPD Academy was intense, pushing Evy beyond her limits both physically and mentally. She faced harsh instructors who relentlessly tried to break her down. During a run, she wore mascara, breaking a rule which led to humiliation. Yet, this experience spurred her determination not to fail or let fear control her life. Evy began running daily to improve her endurance, using fear as motivation. She realized that the regret of inaction could haunt her more than the pain of failure. This realization helped her push through the grueling physical training and mental challenges at the academy. After 5 months, Evy faced another significant decision: joining the Secret Service instead of staying in the NYPD. She received an offer to become a special agent with the USSS, which she had quietly applied for earlier. Despite feeling comfortable and having formed strong bonds at the academy, Evy decided to take this elite opportunity. The Secret Service, established in 1865, primarily focuses on combating counterfeit currency and protecting the U.S. president and other high-ranking officials. It's known for its rigorous selection process, accepting only about 1% of applicants, a statistically higher barrier than gaining entry to Harvard University. At the Secret Service Training Academy in Glencoe, Georgia, Evy trained alongside a small group of exceptional individuals. The curriculum was grueling, combining intense physical challenges with demanding academic coursework on legal frameworks and investigative procedures. Evy worked harder than ever, pushing her limits to prove her abilities among her formidable peers. Evy's journey exemplifies the transformation into a stronger, more confident person. Facing fears, learning from setbacks, and embracing challenges allowed her to redefine her self-image. She moved past limiting beliefs imposed by her environment and cultural expectations, becoming someone who embodied the bravery of Greek heroes she admired. Through resilience and determination, Evy Poumpouras transformed herself into a powerful figure in law enforcement, serving as a special agent for the United States Secret Service for over a decade. Chapter 3: Mental Armor. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent, shares insights on how to build mental resilience and confidence. She emphasizes the importance of creating a mental shield, an internal barrier against negative influences and situations. This shield acts like armor, protecting one from harmful words or actions that could undermine self-esteem. Poumpouras draws on research by Maurice Vanderpool, who found that many Holocaust survivors used a plastic shield to cope with their traumatic experiences. This shield included mental sovereignty and a sense of humor, which helped them maintain perspective amidst fear and violence. She suggests thinking of this mental armor like bubble wrap around fragile china. If properly fortified, it can endure much. If weak, it may crack under pressure. This shield allows individuals to choose what they absorb and what they deflect, promoting boldness and reducing fear of failure or rejection. The concept of hormesis is also introduced, the body's positive response to low-level stressors. This principle can be applied mentally by gradually exposing oneself to small doses of feared situations to build tolerance and confidence. For instance, someone afraid of public speaking could join an acting class to practice dealing with discomfort without severe consequences. Poumpouras provides a 4-step process for strengthening mental resilience through hormesis. 1. Identify manageable stressors. 2. Experience them and observe reactions. 3. Adjust strategies based on observations. And 4. Repeat the process, gradually increasing challenges. She advises keeping fears small by actively confronting them in controlled settings before they grow into overwhelming dread. For example, someone who dislikes cold could take cold showers or go for runs in rainy weather to acclimate. Poumpouras also stresses the importance of avoiding hot zones, situations, or people that cause significant mental distress. This involves assessing relationships and work environments for their supportiveness, honesty, and lack of undermining behavior. She advocates for getting off the X, physically or emotionally removing oneself from harmful situations to prevent escalation. This could mean leaving a toxic conversation or reducing time spent with draining individuals. Furthermore, Poumpouras encourages the courage to walk away, not engaging in every conflict and avoiding pointless confrontations. She argues that strategic withdrawal shows strength and emotional control rather than weakness. The concept of "don't catch the ball" emphasizes not responding to every provocation or demand for attention, thereby preserving mental clarity and focus on important tasks. Lastly, Poumpouras promotes playing the long game, focusing on overall objectives rather than impulsive short-term desires. She uses her experience as a polygraph examiner to illustrate this concept. Punching a suspect, short game, might feel satisfying, but hinders the long-term goal of gathering evidence for justice. In essence, Evy Poumpouras offers a comprehensive guide to mental fortification through recognizing and managing stressors, developing resilience through gradual exposure, strategic avoidance of harmful situations, emotional control in conflict, and maintaining focus on long-term goals over immediate desires. Chapter 4: Mental Resilience. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent and expert in mental resilience, explains how one can become a stronger, more confident, and powerful person. Resilience, she argues, is not a genetic trait but a skill that can be developed over time. Poumpouras introduces the concept of living in one's reality, rather than dwelling on unrealistic expectations. She uses the story of Admiral Jim Stockdale, who survived 7 years as a prisoner during the Vietnam War, to illustrate this point. Stockdale learned that focusing too much on optimism could lead to heartbreak when faced with adversity. Instead, he accepted his reality and worked toward solutions. Poumpouras emphasizes understanding the real problem as crucial in solving a dilemma. Often, people get stuck on one perspective, failing to see the issue from different angles. She gives an example of a young woman at work who assumed her coworker was mean because he didn't share information with her. In reality, he saw her as a potential threat due to his long-term experience and lower pay compared to hers. To tackle problems effectively, Poumpouras suggests adopting a solution mindset rather than dwelling on the problem. This involves setting an expiration date for emotional processing, accepting the situation, and then shifting focus towards solutions. She recommends prototype thinking as a method to generate potential fixes, encouraging creativity without self-judgment. Finding meaning in hardships is another key to resilience, according to Poumpouras. After the 9/11 attacks, she volunteered for search and rescue efforts, finding purpose in her actions amidst tragedy. Research shows that helping others can release feel-good hormones, reduce depression, and boost overall vitality. Poumpouras highlights the importance of a powerful mental attitude versus a powerless one. A powerful mindset involves ownership and proactive problem-solving, while a powerless mindset blames external forces for difficulties. She suggests adopting an "I did what I thought was best" approach instead of making excuses, as this fosters self-reliance and responsibility. To gain objective perspectives on personal problems, Poumpouras proposes the third-person solution strategy. This involves imagining advice given to a friend dealing with the same issue. It helps simplify problems by removing emotional bias. Lastly, Poumpouras discusses disruptors, techniques used to shift from a powerless mindset to a powerful one during emotional turmoil. These include physical distance, like taking a walk or vacation, engaging in different activities, like sports or hobbies, and using time wisely, such as waiting 24 hours before reacting. By incorporating these strategies, individuals can transform themselves into stronger, more confident, and powerful versions of themselves. Chapter 5: The Secret Service Mindset. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent, emphasizes the importance of proactive measures in personal protection and building self-confidence. She highlights that true strength comes from understanding reality, rather than living in unrealistic optimism or fear. In her role with the Presidential Protective Division, Evy explains the work of two key teams, the Advance Team and the Shift Team. The Advance Team, led by Evy during her time with Barbara Bush, creates layers of security before an event to ensure safety. They identify potential threats like the jackal, the hypothetical assassin, and devise plans to prevent such dangers. This proactive approach is crucial for personal protection, as 90% of safeguarding oneself involves prevention. Evy advises creating an advance plan for frequent destinations by identifying ingress and egress points. This practice becomes second nature with time, ensuring smooth navigation even in emergencies. She warns against the pitfalls of being overly reactive, as it hampers effective problem-solving and leaves individuals vulnerable. A core aspect of personal growth, according to Evy, is developing self-reliance. While protectees like Barbara Bush enjoy perks such as escorted travel and hassle-free logistics, this can lead to relying excessively on others for everyday tasks. When these protectors are no longer around, a sense of panic may arise due to the lack of learned skills. Evy shares her personal initiative, teaching Barbara Bush essential protection strategies before their Secret Service detail ended. This plan covers safe house identification, route memorization, and understanding hard versus soft targets. Safe houses are locations where one can find safety, such as hospitals or police stations. Evy recommends visiting these sites in advance to familiarize oneself with their layout and emergency procedures. This way, if an urgent situation arises, there's no need to figure things out under stress. Knowing one's routes to safe houses is vital, as relying on technology during an emergency can be unreliable. Evy advocates for memorizing these paths to save time and maintain cognitive clarity in critical situations. She also differentiates between hard targets, densely populated locations with high media presence like stadiums, and soft targets, schools, restaurants, each carrying varying levels of risk. Evy underscores the significance of open communication about safety, particularly with children. Parents should teach their kids about safe houses, emergency routes, and contact numbers. Active shooter scenarios shouldn't be avoided. Instead, parents must discuss them calmly to avoid instilling unnecessary fear. Evy stresses that children have more power than they realize in defending themselves against potential threats through loud reactions and simple self-defense tactics like yelling or running away. Vulnerability often peaks during transitions between locations, known as arrivals and departures in protective services. Evy offers advice for navigating these risky moments safely, such as staying vigilant near vehicles and avoiding isolated, dimly lit areas. Preparing for international travel involves additional layers of safety consciousness. Before visiting foreign countries, one should check travel advisories, be cautious at night in unstable regions, know the location of embassies or consulates, use trusted tour agencies, and understand local laws and customs. Keeping valuables secure, limiting cash carried, and avoiding public Wi-Fi contribute to minimizing risks abroad. Evy's key takeaway is that confidence and power stem from preparation, awareness, and self-reliance, empowering individuals to face various challenges fearlessly. Chapter 6: Be Your Own Shift Agent. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent, emphasizes the importance of becoming a stronger, more confident person through situational awareness and preparedness. She encourages readers to transform themselves into a shift force, much like the reactive element of the Secret Service that swiftly responds to threats. In everyday life, this means being vigilant about your surroundings, similar to how shift agents are always on guard for potential dangers near the president. Evy advises against blindly accepting seats on a plane without considering their safety features, like the emergency exit. She believes in taking control of personal safety rather than relying on strangers during an emergency. Evy introduces the concept of situational awareness, which involves assessing your environment upon arrival at any location. This practice, crucial for shift agents protecting high-profile figures, is equally beneficial for ordinary people. By spending the first 5 minutes observing and mentally mapping out potential dangers and exits, individuals can stay alert and prepared. Next, Evy discusses cover and concealment. Cover refers to solid objects that can shield you from harm, like thick trees or heavy furniture. Concealment, on the other hand, is about hiding completely, such as behind curtains or in a closet. While cover provides protection, concealment keeps you out of an attacker's line of sight. Finding both, if possible, is ideal for optimal safety. Evy stresses the significance of knowing ingress and egress points at every location visited. Most people are familiar with the main entrance but overlook secondary exits, like back doors or service entrances. Identifying these alternative routes can prevent being trapped in a dangerous situation, especially during mass panic or an attack. She also explains the importance of hard room spaces made of materials resistant to bullets, such as wood, steel, or tile, which can provide temporary shelter during an emergency. Stairwells are another vital element of safety. Understanding their layout and potential obstacles ensures quick evacuation if needed. Lastly, Evy highlights the value of strategic seating choices in restaurants, movie theaters, or concerts. Sitting with your back to a solid wall allows you to see everything approaching, while choosing a seat near an exit enables swift departure during an emergency. Furthermore, being elevated offers better visibility of the surroundings and potential threats. Throughout her narrative, Evy emphasizes trusting one's instincts. Intuition often warns us about imminent danger before our conscious mind can process it. She recounts personal experiences and anecdotes from fellow agents to underscore the importance of heeding these internal signals, even when logical reasoning fails to provide clear justification. In essence, Evy Poumpouras encourages readers to adopt a proactive approach towards personal safety by cultivating heightened situational awareness, understanding key safety concepts, cover and concealment, ingress-egress points, and making strategic choices in daily life, transforming themselves into powerful individuals capable of navigating challenging situations with confidence. Chapter 7: If You Must Fight, Then Fight. Evy Poumpouras, a seasoned security expert and former member of the Secret Service, shares insights on transforming oneself into a stronger, more confident, and powerful person. She emphasizes embracing confrontation and becoming a counterpredator rather than a victim. In her story about working at the G20 summit in Mexico, Evy encounters an aggressive Chinese delegate who tries to intimidate her by forcefully entering a restricted area meant only for high-ranking officials. Despite the man's size and brute tactics, Evy stands firm, demonstrating mental conviction. She explains that her resolve wasn't about physical strength, but rather her unwavering belief in her duty to protect and enforce security protocols. Evy asserts that true strength stems from mental conviction and not just physical prowess. It's essential to believe in oneself and the reason behind actions, ensuring clarity when communicating expectations and requirements. She advises against being timid or uncertain, as these traits can make one appear weak. When faced with bullies or predators, individuals who seek to exploit vulnerabilities, Evy stresses the importance of not appearing as an easy target. Predators often prey on those perceived as weak or passive due to their own insecurities and fears. By presenting oneself confidently, making eye contact, and being aware of surroundings, one can deter potential predators. Understanding victimology is crucial for avoiding becoming a victim. Research shows that factors like location, gender, time, age, season, socioeconomic status, race, marital status, behavior, lifestyle, and impulsivity traits contribute to increased vulnerability. For instance, urban areas with high population density have higher crime rates, and teenagers are more likely to be both perpetrators and victims of crimes due to their tendency to engage in risky behaviors during peak crime hours. Evy also advocates for practical self-defense techniques rather than elaborate TV-friendly moves. Simple yet effective strikes such as targeting the groin, kicking the shin, or punching the throat are more beneficial than complicated choreography. The goal is to create an opportunity for escape through distraction and momentary incapacitation, rather than engaging in prolonged combat. Furthermore, Evy highlights the significance of understanding one's physical limits. Sparring in martial arts classes like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can reveal personal strengths and weaknesses, enabling individuals to gauge their real capabilities in a fight scenario. Training with experienced partners can expose overestimation of abilities and foster humility, driving continuous improvement. Ultimately, Evy Poumpouras encourages self-discovery, mental fortitude, confident body language, practical self-defense skills, and recognition of personal limitations as key components in transforming oneself into a stronger, more assertive individual who can effectively counteract potential threats. Chapter 8: Bulletproof Your Life. Evy Poumpouras guides us through transforming our lives by becoming more secure, confident, and powerful individuals. This transformation involves fortifying our homes, enhancing personal security measures, preparing for emergencies, managing finances wisely, safeguarding social media presence, and securing online accounts. Evy suggests making your home safer by installing bright exterior lighting. Darkness aids burglars as it offers hiding spots to break into your house. Instead, use motion sensor lights that illuminate unexpected movements, alerting you and your neighbors to potential threats. She advises keeping landscaping neat around entry points like doors and windows, Overgrown shrubs can provide cover for intruders. Regularly maintaining your property's appearance signals attentiveness, deterring trespassers. Keeping grass trimmed, trash picked up, and avoiding clutter shows you're vigilant about your surroundings. Even without a fence, placing large rocks or bushes along the perimeter can serve as a natural barrier against unauthorized visitors. Evy emphasizes locking windows and doors consistently. Even brief moments of openness can invite trouble during summer months when more break-ins occur due to warmer weather allowing window ventilation. Always lock doors, using deadbolts that reach deeply into door frames for extra security. Drawing curtains when absent or at night keeps your belongings hidden from prying eyes. Advertising valuables through unobscured windows may attract burglars. Evy advises against tossing large product boxes next to trash cans, as these could inadvertently reveal new purchases and encourage theft. Knowing your neighbors is crucial. Not everyone living close by has good intentions. Limit personal information shared with neighbors and be cautious about whom you let into your home. Even seemingly friendly neighbors might watch for opportunities to exploit trust. Dogs can act as excellent deterrents against intruders. A guard dog's presence often discourages potential burglars. If acquiring a large breed isn't feasible, posting "Beware of dog" signs can still instill psychological fear, potentially thwarting break-ins. Strengthening your door and frame provides robust security. King studs, strong vertical supports near doors, ensure stability when force is applied. Deadbolts should extend at least an inch into the door frame for maximum resistance against kicks or ram attacks. Longer screws securing strike plates into wall framing further enhance protection by making it harder to remove these crucial components. Consider adding a floor deadbolt, anchoring the bottom of the door to the floor joists, creating another secure point and challenging forced entry attempts. Opt for solid core doors rather than hollow ones for increased durability against breaches. If modifications aren't possible, consider interior door jammers, offering temporary reinforcement from within your home. Resilient exterior walls surrounding entry points are equally important. Glass or weak plaster walls may not adequately support strong doors, leaving them vulnerable to easy breaches. Securing windows involves understanding different glass types. Regular glass is fragile and shatters into large pieces upon breaking, while tempered glass resists cracking but remains weakest at corners. Laminated or safety glass, often used in car windshields, offers superior strength and reduces risk of injury from broken fragments. Basement windows, frequently targeted by burglars, require equal attention as other openings. Clear clutter, maintain visibility, and ensure robust locking mechanisms to protect these areas. Investing in modern, affordable home security systems amplifies protection. Cameras act as deterrents due to their potential for capturing intruders' faces or vehicle details. Recording capabilities allow reviewing past events if undetected breaches occur. Smartphone link systems enhance awareness and enable direct communication with visitors, even while away from home. When leaving for extended periods, mimic normal routines to avoid alerting potential burglars. Pause mail delivery or request a trusted person collect it. Time package deliveries carefully to prevent signaling prolonged absences. Preparing emergency kits equips individuals for sudden challenges. A go bag should contain essentials like cash, credit cards, identifications, clothing, non-perishable food, water, first aid supplies, and multi-tools. Personal medications or critical documents can be listed on the bag's exterior for easy reference in crises. Wise financial management boosts confidence and security. Limiting carried credit cards to one primary, another backup, simplifies identity recovery following theft. Carry minimal cash based on daily needs, avoiding hoarding large sums potentially lost in robberies. Effective social media usage bolsters personal security. Avoid sharing consistent routines or home interiors visible through photos. Conceal personal identifiers like birth dates, used by identity thieves. Refrain from posting children's activities or school names to prevent exploitation by predators. Finally, securing online accounts necessitates thoughtful responses to security questions. Opt for non-guessable answers, unrelated to easily accessed personal data. This ensures unauthorized individuals cannot exploit common knowledge to gain entry into your digital profiles, preserving privacy and safety across all platforms. Chapter 9: Becoming a Human Lie Detector. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent, shares her experiences and insights on how to develop into a more confident and powerful person. According to her, the journey begins with self-awareness and understanding your own behavior. She emphasizes that everyone has both good and bad aspects, and it's crucial to acknowledge this complexity within oneself. In her role as a polygraph examiner for the USSS, Evy highlights the importance of emotional intelligence. She explains that during interviews, people often show their true selves due to stress or fear. For instance, subtle changes in body language, such as shifting in a chair or pausing, can indicate nervousness or discomfort with a question. These cues, part of what she calls red flags, are hard for people to control when they lie. Evy underscores the significance of active listening and empathy in interviews. Instead of trying to intimidate subjects into confessions, she advocates for building rapport. This approach makes individuals more likely to open up and share their stories honestly. By understanding why someone did something wrong, you gain a deeper comprehension of them as a person. The ex-agent also shares her polygraph training journey at the National Center for Credibility Assessment, NCCA. She describes it as rigorous, involving intense study in psychology, physiology, ethics, and interviewing techniques. Despite her initial reservations, Evy excelled because she learned to adapt her study methods to suit her unique learning style. This perseverance and willingness to learn ultimately earned her a position as one of the few polygraph examiners in the USSS. Evy's narrative reveals that becoming a powerful person involves continuous self-improvement, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. She encourages embracing one's imperfections, cultivating empathy, and mastering communication skills to better understand others and navigate life's challenges effectively. Her experiences highlight that success in interviews or high-pressure situations often boil down to being well-prepared, mentally strong, and genuinely curious about the person sitting across from you. Chapter 10: Everybody Lies. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent and polygraph examiner, shares insights into understanding human behavior and recognizing deception. This knowledge can help you become more confident and powerful in your interactions with others. In one case, Evy encountered a mother suspected of hurting her baby. The woman displayed several red flags indicating potential guilt. These included bringing a lawyer to the polygraph session when she hadn't before, being antagonistic during the interview, giving vague responses to questions about the incident, and expressing sudden leniency towards the suspected abuser, the babysitter. Evy explains that people often lie for various reasons, such as saving face, protecting feelings, or out of self-interest. She also highlights that everyone lies, even if it's just a few times a day. To identify lies, Evy advises focusing on behavior rather than personal emotions. She stresses the importance of being an active listener and gathering intelligence about the person in front of you. This involves observing their body language, tone of voice, and overall demeanor. Evy teaches that lying happens in three main ways: telling complete lies, mixing truth with lies, or lying by omission, leaving out crucial information. Recognizing these patterns can help uncover deception. To improve your ability to read people and situations accurately, Evy suggests not taking lies personally. Instead, approach interactions objectively and use gathered intelligence to make assessments. She emphasizes the value of active listening, allowing others to speak without interruption, paying close attention to what they say and don't say, and picking up on subtle cues in their speech and behavior. Evy's approach to interviewing and reading people is about being present, giving full attention, and valuing the speaker's perspective. It's a method that prioritizes understanding over confrontation. relying on keen observation and interpretation of verbal and nonverbal signals rather than aggressive tactics often seen in media portrayals of interrogations. By honing these skills, recognizing different forms of lying and practicing active listening, you can enhance your confidence in social interactions, making you a more powerful and perceptive communicator. Chapter 11, Reading People. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent and body language expert, shares her insights on how to become a more confident and powerful person by understanding nonverbal cues. She emphasizes the importance of observing people's natural behaviors to detect inconsistencies that might reveal dishonesty or stress. To start, Evy stresses the need to establish a baseline for each individual. This involves paying close attention to their usual demeanor and habits when they're relaxed and not under pressure. By doing so, you can identify subtle changes in their behavior that might indicate lying or discomfort. For instance, someone who usually maintains eye contact may start avoiding it when stressed or lying. Evy also highlights the significance of facial expressions. She mentions that people often reveal their true emotions through microexpressions, brief, involuntary facial movements that can last less than half a second. These can include looks of surprise, anger, disgust, or fear. Being aware of these nuances can help you better interpret what someone is feeling or hiding. In terms of eye contact, Evy explains that most people don't maintain constant eye contact, contrary to common belief. They usually break eye contact about 60% of the time while speaking. However, noticing shifts in usual eye patterns can signal stress or dishonesty. For example, someone might look up and to the left when recalling something, indicating a different thought process than usual. Evy advises against trying to alter someone's behavior, as it can lead them to become better liars by concealing their tells. Instead, she encourages observing people's natural reactions. She recalls an interrogation where a suspect looked at the floor instead of making eye contact, signaling his nervousness and eventual guilt. Moving on to other body parts, Evy discusses hands, fidgeting, grooming, illustrators, hand gestures, posture, supporting and defensive gestures, crossed legs, spacing, and even the lower body's subtle movements like bouncing legs or rolling ankles. Each of these can provide clues about a person's comfort level, honesty, or stress levels during a conversation. Evy uses real-life examples to illustrate her points. She recounts a story of a polygraph candidate who began bouncing her leg when asked about drug use, signaling discomfort and ultimately revealing her dishonesty. Similarly, she notes that crossed legs can indicate closeness or distance between individuals, depending on the direction they face. Lastly, Evy emphasizes the importance of understanding relational dynamics through body language. She suggests observing the amount of space between people during interactions. Closer proximity often indicates comfort and familiarity, while more distance might suggest awkwardness or discomfort. In summary, by learning to read nonverbal cues and understanding individual baselines, Evy Poumpouras argues that one can become a stronger, more confident, and powerful communicator. This skill involves keen observation, the ability to detect subtle changes in behavior, and respecting people's natural reactions rather than trying to control them. Chapter 12, What Are They Really Saying? Evy Poumpouras shares insights on recognizing deception, which can also aid in building confidence and power. By understanding verbal cues, one can better navigate conversations and situations, ultimately leading to increased self-assurance. Poumpouras attended an lapped interview training course for her investigative reporting project. Two detectives told 7-minute stories about trips to Egypt, one true, one false. The exercise aimed to teach how to spot lies. In the first story, the detective who actually visited Egypt described his trip in detail without any noticeable signs of deception. The second detective, however, who hadn't been to Egypt, gave himself away with subtle verb tense shifts. He used future tense, would be, instead of past tense, was, when describing the pyramid's layout, revealing his fabrication. These observations led Poumpouras to identify common verbal indicators of deception. She warns against jumping to conclusions based on a single cue, but emphasizes the importance of establishing a baseline behavior to detect changes effectively. Poumpouras highlights several verbal red flags. 1. Avoidance tactics. People may dismiss questions with phrases like, "That's a stupid question," or "You already know this." Recognizing these tactics helps in pressing for answers instead of backing down. 2. Over-the-top efforts to imply shared knowledge. Statements like, "As you should know," can be attempts to make the listener feel ignorant, encouraging silence. A proper response would be asking, "How would I have already known this?" 3. Repeating questions. If someone answers your question with another question, "Who, me?" It's usually a delay tactic. A simple "yes" can signal that you understood the initial query correctly. 4. Time wasting. Phrases like, "I have more important things to do," indicate discomfort or guilt about the topic at hand. Stay calm and keep asking questions to maintain control of the conversation. 5. Minimizing situations. Statements like, "Is this really that big a deal?" are attempts to downplay issues and shift focus away from uncomfortable topics. Stand firm in your questioning, as your concerns are valid. 6. Refusing to commit. Vague responses such as "That's about it," or "I can't recall," suggest the person is holding back information. Probing further with specific questions can expose unspoken truths. 7. Lying by omission, claiming forgetfulness, "I forgot," frequently around a particular topic signals deception. These moments of memory loss often center on key aspects the speaker doesn't want to reveal. 8. Non-answers. When asked directly, responses that sidestep the question, e.g., "I usually get home around 6 p.m. instead of 'What time did you get home last night?' are evasive and require follow-up questions for clarity. 9. Divine intervention. Excessive swearing or invoking loved ones excessively to back up a story, "I swear on my children's lives," is a sign of attempting to sell a lie, as truthful people don't need such dramatic reinforcements. 10. Catastrophic events. Using tragic occurrences, e.g., "My grandfather's house burnt down," to explain avoidance or lateness is suspicious, especially if these events seem coincidental or lack supporting evidence. 11. Identity defenses. People may use their status, "I'm a married man, I'd never cheat," as a shield against scrutiny. Such defenses don't guarantee honesty. Everyone can make mistakes regardless of position or identity. 12. Perceived harassment. Claiming to be picked on, "You're just picking on me because you don't like me," is an attempt to shift blame and end questioning. It's important to remain impartial while investigating. 13. Emphatic denials, overly dramatic denials, "I absolutely did not stop for a drink," are often attempts to discourage doubt. Truthful individuals generally provide straightforward answers without excessive theatrics. 14. Integrity qualifiers. Statements like, "Honestly, I didn't see her there," or "To be perfectly honest with you," can signal deception if they're not part of one's usual speech pattern. Truthful people typically speak directly without needing to qualify their statements. 15. Doubt casting. Phrases such as, "You won't believe this," or "This might sound crazy, but," undermine credibility before a story is even told and should prompt skepticism. 16. Last-minute requests. Tacking on unexpected requests, "Oh, by the way, can I borrow your car?" near the end of a conversation suggests those were their primary intentions all along. Be wary of such tactics. 17. Third-person references. Speaking about oneself in the third person, "John Davis is not that guy anymore," may indicate narcissism or attempts to distance from accountability, signaling deception or self-absorption. 18. Verb tense shifts. Mixing past and present tenses unexpectedly when recounting events can suggest lying on the spot, as memories are reliably in the past tense. 19. Self-ownership, regular use of I love you, I'm going to the store, affirms personal involvement and responsibility in statements. Avoidance of I can imply a lack of commitment or ownership, potentially signaling deception. By learning these cues, one can enhance their interpersonal skills, better discern truthfulness during conversations, and consequently become more confident in personal interactions and decision-making processes. Recognizing verbal deception empowers individuals to navigate social dynamics more effectively, fostering a stronger, more assured persona. Chapter 13: How People Read You. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent and TV personality, shares insights on how to project confidence and power through appearance and body language. Firstly, Poumpouras emphasizes the importance of initial impressions. She notes that while inner qualities are crucial, people often judge others based on their outward appearance. To make a good first impression, one should ensure they look put together and prepared. This can be as simple as brushing your hair or ironing your shirt. Poumpouras explains that it only takes seconds for others to form an opinion about your competence and composure, making it vital to start on the right foot. Poumpouras recounts her surprise at the extensive time and effort spent on her appearance when she began TV appearances. She realized it wasn't about looking pretty, but ensuring viewers weren't distracted by her looks. This principle applies beyond TV in situations like job interviews or public presentations. One should avoid new fashion statements that could draw unwanted attention. The way you dress can significantly impact how others perceive you. Poumpouras suggests considering your audience when choosing attire. For instance, bright colors might be suitable for teaching children, but less so in a corporate board meeting. Each situation calls for a different version of yourself, each with its own appropriate look. Poumpouras discusses the significance of her Secret Service days, where agents wore dark suits and muted shirts to appear professional, serious, and powerful, an intentional strategy to intimidate potential threats. This underscores the idea that our appearance can be a potent communicator, conveying messages without words. When interacting with others, Poumpouras stresses the importance of a poker face. She advises against revealing true feelings prematurely, as this might cause the other person to filter their words or shut down completely, hindering accurate reading and information gathering. Maintaining a soft facial expression, relaxed posture, and leaning forward can encourage openness in others while keeping your own emotions hidden. Poumpouras also highlights the power of body language. Being open involves uncrossing arms and legs, maintaining an upright posture, and keeping hands visible to appear welcoming and confident. Making eye contact builds trust and shows engagement. Fidgeting, however, can signal anxiety or nervousness, so it's best avoided during conversations. Removing physical barriers like desks or purses promotes closeness and connection with your audience. In essence, Poumpouras advises using your appearance strategically to convey confidence, power, and credibility. By being mindful of your look, posture, and body language, you can effectively communicate these qualities, making a lasting, positive impression on those around you. Chapter 14: It's Not What You Say, But How You Say It. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent, learned a valuable lesson when she didn't land a job at Fox News. She discovered that the version of herself she presented quiet, reserved, and demure wasn't right for television. This realization led her on a journey to understand the importance of one's true voice in career and life. Evy realized that everyone has two voices, the one we use daily and our true voice. The former is shaped by life experiences, culture, gender, and societal norms. It often lacks attention and can be out of sync with who we truly are. Her true voice needed nurturing, just like any other part of herself. Paralinguistics, the study of verbal communication beyond words, plays a significant role in how we're perceived. This includes accent, pitch, tone, speech rate, and volume. Evy's habits were mostly unconscious, but she decided to gain control over them. She started by identifying where she habitually spoke from: nose, throat, chest, or belly. Speaking from the belly gave her a deeper, more powerful sound. Evy also learned about the impact of voice on perception. A lower pitch, for instance, is associated with strength and confidence, especially for women. A study showed that candidates with lower-pitched voices were more likely to win elections. Another found that surgeons with warmer tones were less likely to be sued for malpractice. To amplify her true voice, Evy focused on several aspects of paralinguistics. 1. Pace. Speaking quickly can indicate nervousness and poor preparation. Slowing down allows time for thoughtful expression and shows confidence. President Obama is a prime example. His deliberate speech made him a powerful speaker. 2. Declarative speech. Making strong, assertive statements rather than asking questions adds weight to our words. This shows conviction and ownership of ideas, reducing the likelihood of others claiming credit for them. 3. Filler words, phrases like, or you know, can weaken our message. Slowing speech naturally reduces their use, allowing for clearer communication. 4. Silence. Many find silence uncomfortable, leading to unnecessary chatter. However, silence can be a powerful tool when used correctly. It allows for thoughtful pauses and gives listeners time to absorb information, making our messages more impactful. 5. Volume. Speaking softly might suggest insecurity or fear of speaking one's mind. Loud, clear voices communicate self-assurance and worthiness of attention. 6. Preparation. Knowing a topic well leads to slower, more confident speech during presentations. This conviction shines through even if a speaker is initially nervous. 7. Less is more. Speaking only when one has something valuable to contribute commands attention. Frequent but unimportant contributions can diminish a person's impact in meetings. Evy's journey teaches us that understanding and refining our true voice can significantly boost confidence and career success. By focusing on these aspects of paralinguistics, we can transform ourselves into stronger, more powerful communicators. Chapter 15, Detecting Deception. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent and expert in human behavior, shares insights on how to discern truthfulness through people's words. This skill can empower individuals, making them stronger, more confident, and better at understanding others. Poumpouras explains that the ability to detect lies is crucial and has been sought after for centuries. In ancient times, Indian priests used donkeys' reactions to accused crimes as a form of lie detection. Today, methods range from polygraph tests to analyzing nonverbal cues. Poumpouras introduces a new angle, detecting lies through language. She emphasizes the concept of cognitive overload, the limit of our brain's capacity to process information simultaneously. For instance, she suggests an experiment where one stands up and recites the alphabet forward. This task is easy, like filling a bathtub with water. However, when asked to walk while saying the alphabet or recite it backward, the cognitive load increases significantly, leading to potential mistakes, much like how our brains struggle with lies due to their complexity. Poumpouras explains that most people lie linearly, telling a story in chronological order to simplify remembering. They avoid unnecessary details to prevent overwhelming themselves. Thus, when listening for potential lies, one should observe if the speaker can recall past events in reverse order without hesitation. If they stumble or show avoidance behaviors like turning away or fidgeting, it might indicate deception. She also highlights the significance of spontaneous corrections during a story, unprompted adjustments to earlier statements. Liars usually dodge these, as they find them suspicious and cognitively taxing. In contrast, truthful people naturally correct minor inconsistencies because recalling actual events is less mentally straining. Poumpouras points out that genuine stories often include direct quotations without summary, whereas fabricated tales might lack them due to the additional cognitive load of remembering exact words. Similarly, true narratives tend to incorporate complications or minor hiccups, as these are inevitable parts of real-life experiences. Liars typically omit such details to avoid complexity. If two people conspire to tell a lie, their storytelling can reveal discrepancies when they switch turns unexpectedly. Each would struggle to build upon the other's made-up detail, leading to vague responses or inconsistencies. Lastly, Poumpouras advocates for verifying details within a story. If someone provides enough specifics, like a swimming pool's location, pizza delivery information, or electronic receipts, they can be corroborated. This not only strengthens the truth-telling process, but also equips individuals with tools to confidently assess others' statements in the future. By understanding and applying these principles, anyone can enhance their ability to discern truthfulness, fostering confidence in personal judgment and interpersonal relationships. Chapter 16: How to Influence. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent and NYPD police officer, emphasizes the power of character in persuasion and influence. In her early days as a police cadet, Sergeant Corrigan instilled in her the profound impact of words. Words, according to Poumpouras, are our most potent tool when dealing with people. Used wisely, they can encourage compliance without resorting to force or threats. Poumpouras introduces the concept of verbal economics, a term she coined with her friend Lee. This involves understanding that words have value, and how we use them affects our results. Just like money, if spent foolishly, we may not gain much. But when used strategically, words can yield significant returns. Unfortunately, many of us often speak without considering the impact or value of our words. We talk to satisfy our egos or impulses, risking losing the listener's interest if we don't offer value. To become adept at wielding words, one must focus on the listener rather than themselves. Poumpouras suggests adopting the perspective of the person you're talking to, much like how adults adapt their speech when interacting with babies. When influencing others, Poumpouras underscores the importance of setting aside personal viewpoints for a desired outcome. This allows one to find ways to persuade and navigate people's thoughts and communication. Each word carries a definition, a meaning, and an impact. Therefore, every word should serve a specific purpose or strategy in guiding the conversation. Influence, according to Poumpouras, is not about manipulation, lying, or changing someone's character. Instead, it's about subtly shifting perspectives to achieve specific goals while maintaining genuine connections. Trust forms the bedrock of influence, earned through building rapport, a mutual exchange of time, attention, and energy. Effective influencers don't try to alter people permanently or force them to submit to their will. Rather, they understand that real change happens when the individual wants it. Poumpouras cites her experience as an interrogator. Instead of trying to change someone's deeply held beliefs about America, she focused on extracting specific information from terrorists and sympathizers. Poumpouras uses Hans Joachim Scharf, a World War II German military officer, as an exemplary figure in strategic influence. Scharf, known for his exceptional interrogation techniques, didn't rely on harsh methods. Instead, he adopted a friendly approach, spending time with prisoners of war at cafes or on walks. He never directly pressed them for information, but allowed conversations to flow naturally. By maintaining an air of calm and composure, Scharf gathered extensive intelligence without his subjects realizing it. Poumpouras underscores that modern interrogation methods, like those used by the High-Value Detainee Interrogation Group, HIG, are rooted in scientific research from various fields such as law enforcement, psychology, and sales. These soft communication skills, she asserts, aren't confined to interrogation rooms. They're valuable in boardrooms, family rooms, or any setting requiring influence. Whether negotiating with a coworker or talking to a new acquaintance, these strategies can be highly effective. In essence, Poumpouras' insights suggest that transforming oneself into a stronger, more confident, and powerful person lies in mastering the art of persuasion through thoughtful word choices and strategic communication. By understanding others, building rapport, and using words as tools for genuine connection rather than self-expression, anyone can enhance their influence and effectiveness in various situations. Chapter 17: Undivided Attention. Evy Poumpouras, a former special agent who worked closely with President Bill Clinton, shares insights on how one can become more confident and influential. According to her, people naturally want to feel special and valued, and this is a key aspect of building strong relationships. President Clinton was exceptional at making individuals feel unique by giving them his full attention. At an event for the Clinton Global Initiative, despite being running late, he stopped to engage in conversations with onlookers, asking about their names and backgrounds. This genuine interest showed that he cared more about connecting with people than adhering to strict schedules. Poumpouras emphasizes the importance of giving undivided attention in various situations. She suggests turning off your phone during meetings or interviews to show respect and concentration. In a world full of distractions, keeping your phone away signals that the person you're with is important. This practice also improves your ability to observe nonverbal cues, which can reveal much about a conversation's progression. Research suggests our brains struggle to multitask effectively. Switching topics often results in lost information and diminished focus. Hence, when you're fully present during an interaction, you're more likely to pick up on subtle signals that could inform your response. Despite common concerns about missing emergencies, the likelihood of such situations is statistically low unless anticipating urgent news. Poumpouras recalls how President Clinton consistently demonstrated this skill. He never hesitated to set aside his phone during conversations, whether with global leaders or casual encounters. This dedication to face-to-face interactions underscores the power of focused attention in fostering connections and influence. She also highlights another essential skill: remembering names. Our brains have a special connection to our personal identity through our names, making it a significant source of affirmation when used appropriately. Poumpouras notes that President Clinton was remarkably adept at recalling people's names, repeatedly using them in conversations to make each person feel personally acknowledged. Improving name retention involves integrating small habits into your routine over time. When meeting new people, actively address them by their names and repeat their names during the conversation to reinforce memory. This simple act not only aids recollection, but also deepens the immediate connection between individuals. Poumpouras encourages adopting these practices, as they transform one into a more confident, attentive, and influential individual. By mastering these skills, giving undivided attention and remembering names, anyone can elevate their interpersonal interactions and strengthen relationships, mirroring the approach of someone as charismatic as President Clinton. Chapter 18, Commanding Respect. Evy Poumpouras, a former special agent with the Secret Service, shares her experiences and insights on how to become a stronger, more confident person. After September 11th, she and her team underwent rigorous tactical training, including exercises in handling fire hoses amidst burning buildings. These intense scenarios tested their physical strength and ability to stay calm under pressure. One such exercise involved holding a fire hose correctly. Despite initial struggles due to the immense water pressure and heat, Evy held her ground, following instructions not to drop the hose. Later, she learned that her colleagues had deliberately chosen her for this task, assuming she wouldn't succeed. Yet, Evy persevered, demonstrating resilience and determination. Evy explains that respect can't be forced or demanded. It's a gift given by others. She learned this lesson in the male-dominated field of law enforcement, where she faced adversities but refused to let others' opinions dictate her self-worth. Instead, she focused on achieving her goals and letting her results speak for themselves. Privacy is another crucial aspect Evy emphasizes. She recalls an instance where agents publicly tried to extract a confession from a suspect without success due to the surrounding noise. Evy suggested removing bystanders to create a private, intimate setting conducive to open communication. This principle applies beyond law enforcement, in classrooms, workplaces, and homes alike. By respecting individuals' privacy, you foster an environment where they feel safe to express themselves honestly. Evy's experiences also highlight the importance of preserving dignity. In one scenario, a disruptive student was causing chaos in her classroom. Instead of publicly embarrassing him, Evy asked public safety officers to remove him privately after class. This approach preserved his dignity and prevented potential conflict or violence. Through these stories, Evy Poumpouras underscores the value of strength, confidence, and respect, not only in professional settings, but also in personal life. She teaches that by focusing on self-improvement, staying resilient, and showing consideration for others' privacy and dignity, anyone can transform into a stronger, more confident person. Chapter 19, The Right Questions. Evy Poumpouras, a seasoned professional in the realm of communication and influence, emphasizes the significance of asking the right questions to become a stronger, more confident, and powerful person. She stresses that the way you phrase your queries can greatly impact the information you receive. Poumpouras notes that open-ended questions are crucial for gathering detailed responses. Unlike closed-ended questions, which typically can be answered with a simple yes or no, open-ended ones encourage elaborate personal narratives. For instance, instead of asking, "Did your meeting go well?" she suggests, "Tell me about your meeting." The latter invites the speaker to share more than just a brief affirmative or negative reply, providing insights into what transpired during the gathering. Open-ended questions offer several advantages. Firstly, they require less effort from you as the listener, since the speaker often volunteers information willingly. Secondly, they allow you to observe the speaker's thought process without having to guide the conversation. Thirdly, they give the speaker time to speak and reveal themselves through storytelling, which can yield a wealth of information. Poumpouras shares that in her polygraph examinations, she often used open-ended questions after the test. By asking, "How do you think you did?" she allowed the subject to express their primary concerns or worries firsthand. This not only gave her valuable insights, but also saved her from speculating about the subject's potential anxieties. Moreover, Poumpouras underscores that open-ended questions are beneficial in professional settings too. When pitching a book proposal, she advises starting conversations with open-ended queries such as, "What did you like about the proposal?" This allows editors to express their genuine interests and expectations, providing crucial feedback for her next steps. To ask effective open-ended questions, Poumpouras introduces the TED method. Tell, asking the speaker to share their experiences or thoughts. Explain, prompting a detailed explanation of events or viewpoints. And describe, encouraging the speaker to depict situations vividly. This approach ensures questions are neutral, not influencing the speaker's response with assumptions. However, Poumpouras warns against leading, compound, and assumptive questions. Leading questions steer speakers towards responses you assume to be true rather than their actual beliefs. Compound questions can confuse due to multiple inquiries packed into one. Assumptive questions make assumptions about the speaker's experiences or actions, potentially causing misunderstandings or damaging trust if incorrect. Though open-ended questions are primarily useful for information gathering, Poumpouras suggests reserving closed-ended queries for later in conversations. These can help clarify specific details once you've understood the broader context. By initially encouraging free-flowing dialogue and then strategically asking targeted questions, one can effectively navigate any conversation and influence outcomes positively. In essence, mastering the art of questioning, especially with open-ended inquiries, is a powerful tool for personal growth and impactful communication. As Evy Poumpouras advocates, it's about listening actively, understanding fully, and responding thoughtfully to transform into a confident, influential individual. Chapter 20, The Principles of Rapport. Evy Poumpouras emphasizes the importance of rapport, empathy, and self-awareness in becoming a stronger, more confident, and influential person. Rapport, as Poumpouras explains, is that special connection two people share when they're in sync. It's like having a secret language or mind-reading ability during conversations. This happens naturally when brains become neurocoupled, interpreting the environment similarly and creating deeper engagement. Building rapport is crucial for influencing others, as it fosters trust, which triggers the release of oxytocin, often called the love hormone, in the person you're talking to. This hormone encourages bonding behaviors and positive feelings towards you. Poumpouras stresses that empathy is a key strength, not a weakness as some may believe. Empathy involves understanding another's perspective by assuming their point of view, which means being able to see situations from their eyes. It's different from sympathy, which is sharing in someone else's pain or suffering. When you practice empathetic communication, people will naturally open up and share more with you. This helps you understand them better, build stronger relationships, and persuade more effectively. Mirroring, a technique used to create rapport, involves subtly imitating someone's body language and speech patterns. This unconscious process aligns your behaviors with theirs, making the other person feel understood and comfortable. Poumpouras provides examples such as matching a person's hand position or speaking style. She also warns against being too obvious about mirroring, as it may seem insincere and damage rapport. Self-awareness is essential for effective influence. Poumpouras encourages individuals to check their egos at the door, avoiding the urge to dominate conversations or constantly prove their intelligence. Instead, they should listen more than speak, allowing others to express themselves without interruptions. In her career as a special agent, Poumpouras demonstrated this skill by maintaining silence during an interview with a suspected nanny, while her partner remained quiet, creating space for the suspect to unknowingly reveal details leading to a confession. Poumpouras also highlights the value of likability in personal and professional relationships, arguing that being genuinely liked can lead to better connections and more successful interactions. Likable people foster trust and open communication, making others more likely to share valuable information or ideas. However, she distinguishes this from being overly accommodating, emphasizing the importance of setting boundaries while still maintaining likability. Lastly, Poumpouras advises on adjusting paralinguistics, the nonverbal aspects of communication, such as tone and speech patterns, to connect better with others. By considering factors like a person's background and adapting your speech style accordingly, you can establish stronger rapport and foster more effective communication. This adaptation, though subtle, helps create an unconscious sense of familiarity and understanding between individuals. In summary, Poumpouras presents rapport, empathy, self-awareness, likability, and paralinguistic adjustments as crucial elements in transforming oneself into a more confident and powerful influence. Chapter 21, The Tactics of Influence. Evy Poumpouras, a former Secret Service agent and security expert, offers valuable insights on how to become a stronger, more confident, and powerful person. One key strategy is priming, which involves mentally swaying others in your favor through subtle cues. For instance, if you hand someone a warm cup of coffee during an interview, they're more likely to perceive you as trustworthy and friendly due to the association between warmth and positive traits. Priming can occur through various means: words used, room arrangement, or lighting. In a business setting, Evy suggests creating an open environment with ample lighting and open items like water bottles or books to encourage openness and collaboration. She also emphasizes the power of priming words in opening lines, such as open, together, and sharing, which subtly nudge listeners towards positivity and teamwork. Another important aspect Evy discusses is authority. To be seen as an expert, you must thoroughly prepare and demonstrate deep understanding of your topic. This doesn't mean bragging about your credentials. Instead, it's about showcasing your knowledge in a confident yet humble manner. Remember, people tend to trust those who seem authoritative in their field. Proxemics, or the study of space between people, is another influential tool. Understanding socially accepted distances can help you manipulate personal space for better communication. For example, standing closer than 4 feet might signal intimacy, while moving away could imply disagreement. Evy advises to use these techniques subtly and respectfully, always considering the other person's comfort level. Finding common ground is crucial in building rapport. Whether it's shared interests or simple preferences like favorite foods, Connecting on some level makes people feel more comfortable with you. Evy recounts a personal experience where she bonded with a suspect over their shared love for Pepsi during an interview, leading to a successful outcome. Accountability is vital in demonstrating strength and power. By owning up to your mistakes instead of shifting blame, you show integrity and reliability. Evy shares a story from her Secret Service days where she took responsibility for a security lapse at a presidential event, highlighting the importance of accountability in leadership roles. Adaptability is key to navigating unexpected challenges. Life rarely goes exactly as planned, so being able to pivot and adjust is crucial. Evy underscores this by recalling how she prepared for every possible scenario during her service, from fires to biochemical attacks, ensuring she could handle whatever came her way. Lastly, giving people choices fosters a sense of autonomy and control, making them more receptive to your influence. Evy advises offering flexibility in areas where you're not emotionally invested, so that you can maintain firmness on what truly matters. By granting others control over less significant decisions, they'll be more likely to collaborate when it counts. In essence, Evy Poumpouras teaches us that becoming a powerful influencer involves mastering priming, demonstrating authority through preparation and knowledge, understanding and utilizing proxemics, finding common ground with others, practicing accountability, adapting to changes, and granting autonomy strategically. Chapter 22: How Others Influence You. Evy Poumpouras emphasizes the idea that everyone can be a mentor, not just one special person. She argues against the common myths about mentorship, that we need one specific guide or direct access to them. Instead, she suggests seeking wisdom from many people, both admirable and not so admirable, as everyone has something to teach us. For instance, a great supervisor can show you how to be a good leader, while a bad parent might illustrate what not to do when raising children. This approach allows you to learn from various life experiences, making your personal growth more diverse and robust. Poumpouras also highlights the power of solitude. In our society, being alone is often seen negatively, but it's crucial for self-discovery and creativity. Being by yourself helps you focus better, think clearly, and tap into your unique potential without distractions or external influences. She advises taking time to reflect and be by oneself regularly. This practice can help you discern whether your thoughts are genuinely yours or shaped by those around you. It also enhances personal effort and resilience, as being alone often leads to increased focus and productivity compared to group activities where social loafing can occur. People exert less effort when in a group. Another key takeaway from Poumpouras is the concept of self-editing, or limiting oneself based on fear of failure or self-doubt. She explains how people often prevent themselves from trying new things due to these fears. For example, she mentions the U.S. Army's Special Operations Training, where only those confident in their abilities even apply. To avoid self-editing and build confidence, Poumpouras suggests focusing on personal goals without worrying about others' opinions. She uses her experience learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, despite initial lack of skill, as an example. Here, she doesn't care about looking good or impressing others. Instead, she's there solely for self-improvement and resilience building. Moreover, Poumpouras warns against the pitfalls of comparison. She uses the story of John Landy losing a race after being distracted by his competitor to illustrate how focusing on others can hinder personal success. Instead, she encourages concentrating on one's own progress and improvement. Lastly, Poumpouras shares techniques for cultivating a strong mindset. These include watching inspiring movies, listening to empowering music, maintaining physical fitness, adopting good posture, and occasionally engaging in extreme experiences to conquer fears and boost self-belief. In essence, Evy Poumpouras encourages individuals to broaden their mentor perspectives, embrace solitude for personal growth, combat self-editing through confidence, avoid unhealthy comparisons, and utilize various strategies to build a resilient mindset. Chapter 23: Being Presidential. Evy Poumpouras, during her time as a Secret Service agent, witnessed many virtues exhibited by U.S. presidents and their families. She observed these leaders under immense scrutiny and criticism, yet maintaining honor and integrity. These experiences taught her valuable lessons about strength, confidence, and power. One of the most striking traits she noted was Bill Clinton's generosity. Clinton had a way of engaging with people, asking about their lives, and showing genuine interest. This wasn't just about his charisma, but also about his time. He taught Evy that everyone's time is valuable, and that taking the time to connect with others builds empathy and compassion. Hillary Clinton displayed fortitude, a quality Evy admired greatly. Despite enduring harsh criticism and political battles, Hillary never wavered. She continued to stand tall, showing resilience in the face of adversity. This unwavering strength inspired Evy, reminding her that one can remain steadfast amidst life's storms. President George H.W. Bush embodied gratitude. He consistently expressed appreciation to everyone, from high-profile 6PS to kitchen staff and crew members. His acts of kindness showed Evy the power of acknowledging others' efforts and contributions. George W. Bush showcased authenticity, a rare quality in the political world. He was genuine and consistent, never changing his character based on who he was with or where he was. This authenticity taught Evy the importance of staying true to oneself, regardless of external pressures or expectations. Laura Bush radiated grace. Despite constant public attention, she remained patient and kind to everyone, from family members to complete strangers. Her graciousness reminded Evy that treating people with kindness and thoughtfulness is a hallmark of true strength and elegance. Michelle Obama demonstrated the value of self-worth. She prioritized her well-being through consistent exercise, proper grooming, and mental preparation for each day. This self-care routine showed Evy that self-respect is crucial, and that one should never base their worth on others' opinions. Barack Obama exhibited magnanimity, a virtue shown when he treated his critics with respect despite past animosity. His ability to extend courtesy, even to those who had publicly ridiculed him, underscored the importance of self-control and choosing character over ego in challenging situations. In summary, Evy Poumpouras learned from these leaders that strength isn't just about physical prowess or political power. It's also about generosity, fortitude, gratitude, authenticity, grace, self-worth, and magnanimity. By embodying these virtues, one can transform themselves into a stronger, more confident, and powerful individual, capable of navigating life's challenges with poise and resilience. And that brings us to the end of our summary of this book. I hope you found it insightful and valuable. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more. Your support helps us bring you more great content. Thanks for watching.